Hi, I'm Mark Bennett, and in this short video, I'll walk you through how to protect a user's browsing experience using Check Point's Harmony Browse. No endpoint agent, no full software installs, just a simple browser extension that provides powerful protection right inside the browser. So let's dive in. First thing you'll want to do is go to our portal at portal.checkpoint.com, and if you don't have an account, create one here. Once you have that, we'll want to log in. And you'll be taken directly to a welcome page if you do not already have an account. But irregardless, as you can see, I already have one. You're going to pick up here on the left-hand side and open up the window that shows all the various different Check Point offerings that we have, all of which are configured, secured, and controlled right from this single pane of glass. So we're going to go over to the right-hand side under Harmony, and we're going to pick Browse. Now, if you do not have a Browse account, what it'll do is it'll just ask you to have a short evaluation or demo license activation. And in a few minutes, you'll be brought to a dashboard just like what you see here. Now, I've been using mine for a little bit, so yours wouldn't have any data in it, but irregardless, that's okay. So up in the very top, we're going to pick Download. And here you can choose whether we want the Windows operating system or Mac OS, or if you're running Chrome OS, basically will install itself right in any of the browsers. Now this is very, very lightweight extension. So to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, I'm going to launch my LabBox here. And I've actively installed this agent right into the browser. And here it is when I downloaded it. You notice it's only 679K in size. So very, very lightweight extension. Now, once we have our extension installed, we can go into the policy by picking Policy. It defaults to Policy Capabilities. And here on the right-hand side, you can immediately see how we want to configure URL filtering. Do we want to prevent things? Do we want to detect them? Our emulation and extraction, this is the sandboxing, as well as removing the active content from a file while still delivering a clean file to the end user. Our zero phishing capability, our password reuse, this is what prevents you from using the corporate passwords that you have on your desktop or laptop, again, for personal uses outside of the organization. And then, of course, our safe searches. So once you have all that configured, we just pick on Advanced Settings. And here we'll just set some categories here under URL filtering, legal liability, pick Edit. You notice I've turned on all of these right here, just for our demo purposes. And then I have block websites where malicious scripts are found embedded right into the HTML. So that's a good one to have. And I also have this checkbox, which I really like. Allow the user to dismiss the URL filtering alert and access the website. So this might be good if there's a certain category that fits two different things. So as an example, maybe you don't want gambling, but you need to be able to go to some of the hotels that are active there in, say, Las Vegas, and you need to be able to access those. Or maybe there's certain work that you need to be doing with a specific customer or client, and they happen to fall under one of these categories. So this allows a challenge response to the user while actively logging what they're doing and what that response is. It lets he or she be able to connect and do the work that they need to do. If we go under browser settings, then we can pin the browser extension to the toolbar. It's just this little lightweight little icon there. And then there's this great pick, incognito mode. What do we want to do when people use or try to use incognito mode? Well, this decides whether or not they can. So I am disabling the ability to use incognito mode. And then, of course, we can set things under credential protections. Do we want to allow the user to dismiss that alert and access the website just like we did with URLs? In this case, no, I'm not going to let them do that. The downloads and uploads, how do we want our emulation or sandboxing to work? Once you have those configured, we just say OK. And then down here on the bottom right, you'll see where my it says save and install. And this will be highlighted blue when there's been some changes, and you simply install the policy. At that point, we're up and running and ready to start our demo. So let me log back into my demo box, and I'm going to launch a web browser here. And you can see I'm actively on the internet. So I'm going to go to this demo page that lets me pull some malicious files. Going to go to a phishing site first. So let's click on this, and you notice it takes me to, this is actively a fake Salesforce phishing site. But as soon as I try to log in, you see scanning, and then boom, immediately I blocked access to the website. And I show you, this is the suspicious site that you were on. By the way, here's the real Salesforce website below it. And you can see, start to dig into what the differences are. So let's now try downloading something that we shouldn't do. So let's do threat emulation. And you'll want to watch the bottom right hand of the screen there. Pick threat emulation. You'll notice immediately malicious.exe, we blocked it. We saw that it's no good, and we're not going to let you actively get that file. However, I want to give the user the file. I just want to remove things that are malicious from it. So maybe there's some active content that can be stripped out of it while still giving the user the information that they need while we're in the process of trying to figure out whether or not it's malicious or just that we want to give them a clean, sanitized file. So here we can utilize our threat extraction, and you can see up here in the top where we actively downloaded what we called malicious, and we append the cleaned.xls to the Excel file. We've stripped the active content, but we still allow the user to be able to access the data. Then, of course, if he or she wants the original file, we have the ability to grab it right out of the toolbar and say, yes, this is a file we want to be able to use. And we can allow or disallow the user from being able to do that. How about password protection? I don't want you to use the same Active Directory password that you use internally also on your Facebook page, as an example. So we're going to copy this, and we're going to go directly to Facebook. And I'm going to put in my email, and I'm going to put in that password. And you immediately saw that it does not like the fact that I was using my corporate passwords. Now, again, you see here's this advanced pick, effectively saying, hey, I want to give the user an opportunity to still get in. So I understand I'm not supposed to use my corporate password. However, let me get into the site, I can make a change, and I'll get rid of that password. So it gives the user still an opportunity to be able to do what he or she wants. Now let's go and do some URL filtering. Remember I talked about the gambling website. So I'm going to go to gambling, and again, blocked access to a website, but here I am allowing them that opportunity. So I'm going to say, you know what, I need to access for work purposes. And then it's going to ask me, hey, do you want to continue anyway? Yes, I do. And immediately it allows me to go to that gambling website. So let's see what Check Point saw during all this demo. So if immediately, again, we go to our overview page, immediately see I have various different things I've been doing. We've extracted things. We've sandboxed things. You can see there's password reuse. Our zero phishing caught something. There was one specific device that was involved in all these things, and this was my lab box. And all of this is active. I can click on any one of these, and it'll immediately take me to that area in the log, or I can also just simply go to logs as well. And you can see right here what is Check Point seeing. And you can see there were critical alerts that we had, things that we prevented, high, low. Some were phishing, some were URL filtering, extraction. And we can also highlight any one of those here and immediately see what occurred. User reused corporate credentials on an external website. And we can click on any one of these and immediately drill down into any of the information that we're looking to get. Now, it's important to note that admins get full visibility without having to manage full endpoint software or worry about the operating system capabilities. So let's recap. Harmony Browse gives you fast, agentless security directly in the browser with a small, lightweight browser extension. The setup takes literally under 5 minutes. The policy is managed entirely from the cloud. Threats are blocked in real time, and they provide detailed logging. So that's all I'm going to show for this particular video. Join me for the part 2, where I'm going to talk about how we can enable DLP and also our generative AI protections, allowing you to connect to and utilize things like ChatGPT while preventing that DLP leakage that might be going on into it. Thank you, and see you next time.